So we'll start from where we left off on Tuesday. So we'll be on our back, and I'll just mute the mics. Have your long piece underneath you, so you know it's ready to go when we need it. And we'll just start in our restorative resting pose like we usually do, with the knees bent. Have a blanket underneath your head. And you probably know how much height you need for your neck to be comfortable. And sort of all your toys within reach. Okay. Have your knees together and your hands on your belly. Make sure your neck feels comfortable. Let's just take a moment to arrive. Notice how things are this morning. How the back of your head is connecting to the floor underneath you. The curve of your neck. The shoulder blades on the floor. Your lower back. Your hips. And your feet. The belly gently rises on the inhale and falls on the exhale. And your rib cage expands on the inhale. Comes back to its original shape on the exhale. The breath is easy and soft. And you're sensing the three-dimensional quality of your breath. It's expanding your body side to side, back to front, and top to bottom. Now open your eyes, and we'll hold onto our loop, and we'll onto our long piece, and it'll be underneath your lower back. And we'll have our elbows on the ground, holding your band with your hands, and creating enough tension that you do feel the belt hugging you across your waistline, right? Elbows on the floor. So we don't have to use our arms just yet. Separate your knees so they're parallel to each other. And let's take an inhale and gently give in to the resistance of the band. So creating a deeper curve through the lower back where you feel the band hugging you. And then as you exhale, you tilt your pelvis back and you're pressing into the resistance of the band. We'll do it a few times. Inhale and give into the resistance. Your hips stay heavy on the floor. Your ribs stay heavy on the floor. And you exhale and you press the lower back into the band. One more time. Inhale. Tilt the pelvis forward. Find that curve through the lower back. Exhale. Press. Feel the lower back pressing into the ground. Beautiful. Come back to neutral. And we'll move the band, lift your hips up and move the band slightly higher so it's just below your shoulder blades. Find your gorgeous ball, or if you don't have one, you can have a blanket or a block between your knees, and we'll stick it between the knees. So there's a little bit more stability through the lower back, through the body. This time we'll reach the arms up. Create enough resistance through the band so you feel that hugging across your upper mid back. So keep pressing your upper back into the band and try articulating your lower back here while squeezing the ball between your knees. You inhale and you tilt your pelvis forward, creating a deeper arch through the lower back, but still keeping your ribs really heavy on that band. As you exhale, you tilt your pelvis back, press the lower back into the ground, still keeping that pressure across the band through your bottom ribs. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Keep that tension going through the band across your upper back. And exhale and tilt your pelvis back. And notice, you'll probably notice that the ribs really want to move here. Your upper back wants to move here when you're articulating through your lower back. Inhale, tilt forward. Exhale, tilt back. Inhale, tilt forward. Very nice. Exhale, tilt back. Now find neutral. There's a tiny bit of space underneath your lower back, but you keep that tension across your upper mid back. You're pressing your ribs into the band. Keep squeezing the ball between your knees. See if you can lift your feet up and create 90-degree angle between your thighs and your torso. Still pressing into that band. So we moved the lower back. Now we'll try to keep it still and stable. We'll take the arms over to the left and your knees over to the right. Still pressing through the upper ribs into the bend. Come back to center. The torso stays still and stable, and the legs and arms are moving to opposite sides. So now legs over to the left, arms to the right, and you keep pressing out into your bend across the upper back. Come back to center, flex your feet, squeeze the ball, inhale, and as you exhale, arms over to the left, knees over to the right. Come back to center, inhale. As you exhale, arms over to the right, legs over to the left. Beautiful. And then slowly come back to center. Bring your feet down and release your bend. Okay, take the ball out, put it off to the side. Relax the arms by your sides. Bring the feet wider than your mat and take your knees over to the left. Look towards your right shoulder. Bring your knees back to center and then to the opposite side. Knees over to the right, look towards your left shoulder. And then come back to center. Beautiful. So now we will pull on the band again. And we'll try some cloud walking here. So pull on the band. Press your lower ribs into the band where you feel the resistance. Now let's bring our right leg up. And then your left leg up. Flex your feet. Pressing into your band. See if you can bring your right heel down to the floor. Gently tap the ground and bring it back up. And now left heel reaches for the floor. Tap and lift it up. Nothing changes in your spine. So notice if your ribs want to lift off the band. Keep pressing them out. Your lower back has a tiny bit of a curve, so you don't feel it flat on the ground. Keep tapping. Try not to change the angle in the knee, so it's just at the hip. We're tapping the heel down and then flexing the hip back. And then tap and up. 4 more seconds. Nice and slow. Tap. The spine stays nice and stable. Tap. Last time. Beautiful. And then slowly feet go down and release your bend. Take a moment here. Very nice. Let's roll onto your side so you can see the screen. And you can use your gorgeous ball as a pillow underneath the side of your face, under your neck, sort of like this. Find your tune-up ball, and we'll do some hip circles here. We worked on stability through the core, so let's try to use it now as we're moving at the hip. So the ball goes into the top knee, and any kind of object will work. Tennis ball or like a dog toy, something to squeeze inside that knee. Now look at your thighs and try to bring them further back so your knees, your hips, and your shoulders are roughly on the same line. Yeah. Your knees are bent and you're squeezing the ball inside that top knee. Pretend that the band is still across your upper back, right? And you're pushing into it. So trying not to go into the back bend. We're pressing out into that bend. And your upper arm can anchor your body down. Help you anchor the upper body down. Now we're gonna reach the thigh back. The knee will go up as the heel goes down. Pull the knee through and bring it towards your chest. Nothing changes in the torso. Pretend you're still pressing out through that band across your upper mid-back. Knee up, heel down. Very nice. 2 more circles. Reach back. Keep your torso still. Knee up, heel down. Keep squeezing the object inside your knee. Beautiful. 1 more time. Reach back. Knee up, heel down, all the way through. Beautiful. Nice. Now take the ball out. The top leg reaches forward and you're flexing your foot. So you're pulling the top of the foot towards the shin. You can move the ball just slightly behind you so you can lean your head back into the ball. And your arm holds onto the ball, reaches up and back slightly behind you. Pretend you're holding a big dog on the leash, so you're not allowing the shoulder blade to just drop back. You're gently hugging it in while reaching through the ball. And your top heel is reaching away from your hand. Nice diagonal stretch. See if you can straighten your elbow. Make sure it feels comfortable. Nice. And then bring the arm and leg back. And we'll do the opposite. So you'll reach the arm forward on a diagonal and your top leg back behind you. Breathe here. Flexing the foot and reaching the foot away from the ball in your hand. And then bring your arm and leg back to center. And then push yourself up into a side sit. So your bottom leg will be in the front and your back leg will be just slightly behind. See if you can press yourself up with so that hand, we're all doing different sides. So pressing, now see if you can reach that front arm forward, then slightly behind you. Gentle rotation through the torso. See if you can look behind your back shoulder. And then come back to center, and we'll do it a few times. So pressing the arm, the hand into the floor, reach the top arm forward, reach, and then slightly behind you, going into a gentle rotation through the torso. And then come back to center. Very nice. 1 more time. Push the floor away, reach forward, then to the side and slightly behind you, and then continue this movement through your neck to look towards your back shoulder. Beautiful. And come back to center. Nice. Okay. So let's move over to the other side. Nice and slow. Make your way down onto the other side. Bring your gorgeous ball, or you can use your blanket under your head, and your tune-up ball. Settle on your side here. Decide if the ball is the right height for your neck. So you're welcome to use a blanket here as well. Now let's look at the knees. Maybe I'll move off my mat because my pants and the mat are about the same color. That's so funny how it kind of, the screen changes everything so you can see me. So the ball underneath the head, the small ball is inside your top knee. Shifting the thighs back so you're on one line roughly, your shoulders, your hips, and your knees. Pretend you have that band across your upper back and you're pressing into it. Your upper arm anchors your torso down into the floor. You're gonna reach the thigh back, knee up, heel down, nice big juicy circle. Keeping the torso stable while moving at the hip. Reach back, knee up, heel down. Your bottom leg is pressing down into the floor as well, helping to keep your torso stable. Reach back, knee up, heel down, pull through. Flex the foot, squeeze that ball inside your knee. 2 more. Reach back, pressing out through a phantom band across your upper back. And last time. Reach back, knee up, heel down, pull through. Beautiful. So take the ball, reach the leg forward as you reach the arm up and over. You can lean onto your ball or your blanket. Again, pretend you're holding a dog on the leash so the shoulder blade is tucked down and gently under. The foot is flexed and you're reaching on a diagonal, the heel away from the ball in your hand. One breath here. And then pull the limbs in. And then reverse. The top leg shifts back, straighten the knee, and then the arm reaches forward. So it's a diagonal stretch on the other side. So the arm is reaching forward and the leg is reaching back. Beautiful. And bring it back to center. Push yourself up. Your bottom leg is slightly in the front and your top leg is just behind you. Push the floor away, straighten your elbow, reach the arm forward, and then to the side and then slightly behind you while still pressing the floor away. So you can rotate your head and neck to look at your back shoulder. Then slowly come back to center. And then again, reach forward and out to the side and slightly behind you. Tuck your chin in so you're growing tall through the back of your neck. And then come back to center. Beautiful, full body spiral. One more time. Reach forward, push the floor away. Pretend the band is still across your upper back. Notice if your rib cage has shifted forward in front of your pelvis. So by pushing the hand into the floor, we're pressing out through the back ribs still. And then come back to center. Beautiful. And make your way onto your hands and knees on your mat. Let's just take a few moments here to move around. See how your hips are doing. Maybe you want to go around in a circle. Maybe you want to arch and round your back a few times. Nice and slow. Connecting your movement with your breath. And I will sit back and we'll find the long piece and we'll loop it across our lower back again. So we haven't warmed up our wrists yet. So I suggest we hold the pieces in our hands and then go onto our fists, just as a variation, okay? So come onto your hands and knees and press your fists, holding the band into the floor. Make sure your knees are right underneath your hips and your hands are underneath your shoulders. And then see if you can articulate the lower back here, just like we did when we were on our back at the beginning of the class. Try not to move the upper back and just press up into the band where you feel the band hugging you. Yeah, that's tricky, just moving the lower back. So give in to the resistance, create deeper arch through the lower back, and then pushing into the resistance, rounding into the lower back. The upper back stays relatively still. Couple more times, not easy. Just the lower back. Beautiful, nice. And then sit back, and we'll shift the band to underneath the shoulder blades. Yeah, and we'll do that same thing. You pull, come onto your fists. Now, try not to move the lower back. Try only to press out into your upper back where you feel the band. Press up, and then give in to the resistance. And then press up, give in to the resistance. One more time. Press up. Beautiful. Now sit back. Put the band off to the side, and we'll try articulating our back without the band. Pretend the band is across your lower back. Can you move the lower back without moving the upper back? Bringing the tail up, tilting the pelvis forward, and then reversing, tilting the pelvis back, tucking the tail under. Pressing the floor away actively through your hands. Try not to dump the weight into the wrists. Use your fingertips, your knuckles. Beautiful. Come back to neutral. Now hold your lower back still and see if you can articulate through the upper back. Like the band is now just below your shoulder blades. Not easy. The lower back stays still. Beautiful. Nice. Come back to center. Walk your hands over to the left, keeping the same distance between your hands and your knees. Now reach your right arm forward on a diagonal. Pretend the band is across your upper back. Keep your lower back still and send your hips back. Getting into the right shoulder here. Sending the ribcage up towards the ceiling. Keeping the same neutral shape through the lower back. Breathe here. And slowly come back to center and walk your hands over to the other side. Reaching the left arm forward, come up onto the fingertips. Again, find that neutral shape through the lower back. Press the ribcage up towards the ceiling as you send your hips back to your heels. 2 more breaths here. And come back to center and walk your hands back. Beautiful. So let's find our band again, and we'll loop it across the lower back. Come back to your tabletop. Now see if you can rock back and forth, keeping that neutral curve through the lower back. The band will help you feel if you're rounding into the lower back when you're rocking. So we're trying to find movement at the hips. Maybe you can rock slightly deeper now. So instead of using our lower back. So really move that band into the lower back. Gordon, it looks like your band is slightly higher than your lower back. Try moving it lower. Yeah. And then once you find yourself in the tabletop, find the curve. So give into the resistance of the band Yeah, there you go. So keep that curve now and rock back and forth. Yeah, that looks good. Very nice. Beautiful. Lovely. Nice. Okay. Now let's come back to center. Your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Still curving through the lower back, right? We're not rounding there. There is a neutral curve. We'll take your left leg out to the side with your toes pointing forward. Yeah. And there is still a curve through the lower back. Sort of connect to the sensation of the band hugging you across the lower back. Notice if you have rounded. So now keeping the leg out to the side and the curve through the lower back, send your hips back here to your heel. And again, notice if the lower back really wants to round. Come back to neutral, find that curve through the lower back, keep it there, and then shift the hips back. Inner thigh. Beautiful. Come back to center, pull the leg in, and we'll do it on the other side. Reach your right leg out. If you look at me through the front, so I'm trying to keep the leg in line with my hip, right? The toes are pointing forward. So first off, find the curve through the lower back. And it might be really tricky if you haven't, connected to this sort of shape with the neutral back before. Lisa, your wrists are bothering you. So if you want, you can hold them in your fist like this and then come down onto your fists. Yeah, and that will give your wrists a bit of a break. And now let's shift back and forth. Try to press the outer edge of your foot into the floor. So it's not the inner edge of the foot that's on the floor. Try to connect the pinky side of your right foot to the floor. So we're stretching the outer side of the ankle. Yeah, that's right, Beth. Yeah, great. And now come back to neutral and then pull the leg in. Let's let go of the bend. Come down onto your forearms. Allow your chest to collapse down towards the floor and then push up, widening the space between the shoulder blades. Try not to move your lower back here. So we're collapsing the chest down towards the floor. The shoulder blades move in towards the spine, and then you push and you widen that space. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, the lower back doesn't move. Release the chest towards the floor. Exhale, push. Now press yourself up onto your hands. Widen your hands and turn your fingers at 45 degrees out. Your hands will be wider than your shoulders. And now try collapsing the chest here. Feel the shoulder blades come together. And then push and widen. And inhale, shoulder blades come together. Elbows stay straight. Yeah, that's right. Exhale, push. Try not to move the spine. So pretend the bands are still there and you're holding onto that neutral shape through the spine. Inhale, shoulder blades together. Exhale, push them apart. One more time. Inhale, shoulder blades together. Exhale, push them apart. Beautiful, nice. And then bring yourself onto your side and onto your back. Find your loop. And the band will go across our upper back again. And we'll need the gorgeous ball here. It's Holly, right? Yeah. If you have a yoga strap, that would help as well, like a long piece of something like, or a scarf, because we'll be stretching the backs of our legs. Okay, let's settle onto our back. Let's loop the loop over our feet. If you don't have the loop, You'll have to do without it today, but it's really helpful to have it. So we'll pull on the long strap and we'll press the upper back into the band, into the long piece. And then we'll bring the feet up, creating 90 degrees between the thighs and the torso. And you'll press the feet out into the band so you feel that resistance there. Yeah. So pushing through the upper back into the band, we'll pull one leg in and one leg out. And then we'll come back to center. And then we'll switch. You're pressing into the loop and you're pulling the thigh in towards your chest. Trying to keep your spine in neutral here. Pressing out into the band across your upper back. So sort of like the walking on the cloud that we did before, but now we've added the resistance from the loop. And we're straightening one leg while flexing the other. 4 more seconds. One more time. Beautiful. And then slowly bring your feet down. And then relax your arms. Beautiful. So now without using the bends, can you flex your right hip towards your chest, flex your foot, and notice if the shape of your spine have shifted, changed. And now bring the foot down, try to keep your spine stable, flex your left hip, 90 degrees on the inside of the knee. Nothing changes through the spine, and bring it down. Bring the right up. Bring the left up. Now try to pull your thighs in towards your chest as much as possible without changing the shape of your spine. So it's like a squat on your back. We're trying to keep the spine in neutral and we're pulling the thighs in as much as we can using the power of our legs. Pull them in. Very nice. And then slowly bring them down onto the floor. Great. So find your quarters ball. If you don't have one, you can use a blanket here. And we'll put it down sort of between our legs so that we can reach it with our foot and place our foot on the ball. I'll shift off the black mat so you can see the ball. The knees are bent. And one foot is on the ball. Beautiful. So let's loop the band under our lower back here to begin with. Your elbows will stay on the floor and you'll pull on the ends of your straps so you create the tension across the bend. And your lower back has to sort of resist gently, not to go into an arch too much. So inhale and give into the resistance of the bend. Exhale, tilt the pelvis back, pressing into your bend through the lower back. And then inhale and give into the resistance. Push into the ball with your right foot. And then exhale and press out into the bend. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Give into the resistance from the bend. Exhale, tilt the pelvis back. Push into the resistance bend. Push into the ball with your right foot. And then see if you can lift your hips 2 inches off the floor while still pressing into that bend. And then slowly bring your hips down. Beautiful. And inhale, give into the resistance from the bend. Exhale, tilt your pelvis back, press into the bend, push into the ball with your foot, and then lift your hips up 2 inches. Nice. And then slowly, slowly bring it down. One more time. Feel the back line of your right leg come online big time. Inhale, tilt your pelvis forward. Exhale, tilt it back. Press into the bend first. Push into the ball and lift your hips up. And slowly bring it down. Beautiful. Now the ball will shift to underneath your left thigh and we'll straighten the left leg, pushing the thigh into the ball. Take the band from underneath you and loop it over your right foot. So the hamstring, the back line of the leg that we were just activating, I hope you were feeling the action there. So we're gonna stretch it now. But to stretch it efficiently, we need to make sure that the left leg is pressing down into the ball. So we're keeping the pelvis in neutral by doing that. Flex both feet. Now let's point and flex your right foot a few times. So your elbows can be bent here on the ground. And I love using the resistance band here because your ankle really feels that sort of stretching out actively and then flexing actively back in. Yeah, and it's fine if the leg is much lower than mine, as long as you're pressing through your left thigh into that ball. Yeah. Flexing and pointing your foot. The next time you're flexing the foot, reach up through the heel. Try to find a sideways tilt through the ankle, like you're balancing a bowl of soup on the bottom of your foot, and you're gently pouring it out along your inner thigh, and then out through the outer side of your leg. Sideways tilt. And then go for a circle here. Circling your ankle and feel the resistance from the band. Nice and slow. Notice if it's just the toes that you're moving. Try to move the entire ankle. Yeah. Beautiful. So now we'll hold both ends of your strap in your left hand. Straighten the elbow so you're sort of holding it closer to the foot. Your right hand will go on top of your right thigh, and you'll encourage the right thigh to stay away from your belly because sometimes it just wants to rest on the belly. So gently press it down. And now take your right leg across midline any amount. Try to keep the back of your right thigh, your right bum cheek on the floor the whole time. Tuck your chin in. Notice if your neck is getting strained a little bit. Take the leg back, switch hands, flexing both feet here so both legs are active. Now we'll place the left hand on top of your left thigh. Keep it on the floor, so notice if it wants to lift off. Try to keep the left bum cheek on the ground the whole time. As you take your right leg out to the side, any amount, as long as you can keep your pelvis square here. And then bring it back to center. Beautiful. And then take the band off. Beautiful. And let's switch over to the other side. So the ball will now be under your left foot. Both knees are bent. Decide if you want something underneath your head if your neck was not quite comfortable there. So the band will go underneath the lower back. Elbows stay on the ground and you pull on the band to create resistance across your lower back. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Exhale, tilt it back. Press into the bend. Inhale, tilt it forward. Exhale, tilt it back. And the foot is pressing into the ball sort of from the top down. So notice if it's your heel just pressing. Try to press the entire foot into the ball. Yeah. So the pressure comes from above, right? Not through the side, through the front, from above. There you go. Yeah, that's good, Wendy. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Feel that tension. Giving into the tension from the band, and then exhale, tilt it back. Pressing into the ball, see if you lift your hips up 2 inches and your lower back stays kind of flat still, right? So bring the hips down. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Give into the resistance from the band. Exhale, first tilt the pelvis back till you feel you're pressing into the band through the lower back. Pushing into the ball through your left foot, lift the hips up. And then slowly down. One more time. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Exhale, tilt back. Press into the band. Push into the ball, lift off. And then slowly down. Beautiful. Move the ball to underneath your right thigh. Straighten that leg, flex the foot. Take the band out and loop it over your left foot. You can hold your elbows on the floor. Squish the ball with the back of your right thigh. Flex both feet. And then start pointing and flexing your left foot, working against the resistance of the band. So when you point, you press into the band, and when you flex, you slowly give into that resistance. Point and flex. See if you can spread your toes here. Make sure your neck is comfortable and you're not clenching your jaw. So the next time you're flexing the foot, reach the heel up. Try to find the sideways tilt, like we're pouring that soup out along the inner thigh and then out along the outer thigh. Come back to center. Now hold both ends of your strap in your right hand. Straighten the arm. Now gently push the left thigh down, away from your belly as you take your right leg across midline. Breathing here. Come back to center, switch hands. Now your right hand will go on top of your right thigh and you take your left leg out to the side, connecting the right bum cheek to the ground the whole time. Keep it grounded and squeeze that ball under your thigh. And then bring your leg back and take the loop off. Beautiful. Put the ball off to the side as well. And let's just try coming into a bridge here without the ball or the resistance band. First, tilt your pelvis back and forth a few times. Find that articulation through the lower back. And then the next time you exhale and you push the lower back into the ground, press into the feet. Start lifting the hips up and come up nice and high. Pretend you're trying to pull the heels into your shoulders. So you're activating the back line of the legs and then slowly bring everything back down. Tilt the pelvis forward, inhale. As you exhale, tilting back, really articulating through the lower back, pushing to the feet and lifting up nice and high. Pull the heels in towards the shoulders. And slowly down. And we'll add our arms here. So inhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Exhale, tilt it back. Really wait to press into the lower back. Now lifting the hips up and lifting the arms up and over your head. Taking as much to bring your arms up and over as you take it to bring your hips up. And then slowly everything comes back down to where you started from. 2 more, just like that. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Exhale, tilt it back. Press the lower back into the ground. Push through the feet. Come up. hips and arms in synchrony, up and over. Pull the heels in towards your shoulders to activate the back line of your legs. And as you exhale, come down. And one last time. Inhale and tilt forward. Exhale, tilt back. Push through the feet. Push through the lower back and lift off. And slowly, slowly come back down. Beautiful. So straighten your legs. Reach your right arm up. Follow the fingertips with your gaze, and then see if you can initiate a gentle roll over onto your side, and then slowly, slowly come back onto your back. And then the left arm reaches forward. Follow the fingertips with your gaze. Pull your upper body initiates this roll over onto your side. And then slowly come back to your back. Now see if you can initiate this roll with your leg. Let's lift the right leg up. Your upper body will stay nice and still, and you'll bring the right leg up and over. Initiate from the lower body onto your side. And come back. Left leg comes up. Let's bring the left arm up as well. So the leg goes across the body, takes the rest of the body with it. Go onto your side. And then the leg initiates the roll back. Beautiful. Now roll onto your side and push yourself up. Find yourself on your hands and knees. And let's move here. See how it feels now to move on your hands and knees. Maybe go into a circle over your hips. Maybe arch and round your back a few times. Pushing the floor away through your hands. Let's walk our hands over to the right, and we'll round and arch our back here a few times. Nice and slow. Try to move your spine bone by bone by bone. Connecting your movement with your breath. And walk your hands over to the left. And we'll arch around here a few times. Nice and slow. Beautiful. And we'll make our way down onto the floor. And we'll bring the legs out to the front. Pull your feet, your toes up, so you're staying on the heels of your legs. Try to find your sit bones underneath you. Your feet are nice and wide, and let's find some rotation at the hip here. Bring the thigh in towards midline and then out and away from the midline. Notice if your shoulders have crept up to your ears. So push down. You can come up onto the fingertips. Have your spine nice and long. In and out. Couple more times. create some resistance deeper inside the hip joint by activating the leg. So we're not just plopping in and out. Maybe think of pulling the heel in towards your sit bone, right, while rotating at the hip. So you're creating some resistance there. Bring the leg back to center, and then let's do the other side, in and out a few times. Sort of dragging the heel in to activate the entire leg. Yeah, in and out. The spine is nice and straight. Notice if there's a difference on this side. So in and out. Try to keep both sit bones heavy as you're moving the leg. Notice if your sit bone wants to lift off and become lighter. In and out. The rest of the body stays nice and still. Now we'll move both knees over to your left. So I'll be your mirror reflection. Now keep your left leg close to the floor and bring your right up and out. And then bring it back down. Really connect your left thigh to the floor. And then bring your right up and out. Beautiful. Up and out. Now keep pulling it out, and then when you can't pull it out anymore, then allow your left to follow and go over to the other side. Now keep your right thigh glued to the ground, and the left goes up and out. Couple more times, keeping both legs active, up and out. One more time, pull it up and out. And when you can't keep your right thigh on the floor anymore, then you allow it to follow. But you keep creating resistance between the inner thighs. Beautiful. So fold both legs in. Press your left hand into the floor, and then see if you can come up onto the knees and reach your arm up and over. And slowly bring yourself back down, sort of full body stretch and a gentle spiral. Pushing the floor away through the hand, coming up onto the knees, reach up and over. And then down. Beautiful. And one more time, pushing the floor away, coming up onto the knees, reach. And back to the ground, legs to the front. Over to the other side. Okay, so now pushing your right hand into the floor. See if you can come up onto the knees and reach your front arm up and over. Beautiful, and back down. One more time, up and over. Push the floor away, and come back. And one last time. Up and over. Beautiful, all the way down. And make your way onto your back. So we'll try that abdominal activation and the chest stretch that we did on Tuesday with the quarters ball. So have a blanket underneath your head, and then the quarters ball or another blanket will go just underneath your shoulder blades. Okay? So I'll find a pillow here to show you. So the ball or your blanket is just underneath the shoulder blades. The knees are bent, and we will interlock our hands underneath the base of our skull. And the elbows are out to the side. So take a moment here and feel the opening across the chest, and feel the ball underneath your shoulder blades there. Mhm. Now you inhale, and then as you exhale, bring the elbows together. Keep exhaling and feel a gentle pulling through the front of your abdominal wall at the very bottom of the exhale. Keep exhaling, and then you'll feel how your upper body just lifts up on its own, just through the power of your exhale. And then as you release back down, you allow the elbows to open out to the sides, and you push the back of your head into your hands gently, and you release your upper back all the way down onto the floor, onto the ball. Inhale here, expand. Try to expand more into the ball rather than into the front of your chest. As you exhale, elbows come together. Keep exhaling. And at the bottom of your exhale, you'll feel your torso come up. Push the back of your head into your hands and resist with the hands as you release yourself down towards the floor and open the elbows out to the side. One more time, elbows come together. As you exhale, you wait for that activation through the front of your abdominal wall, and you curl in and slowly go back down. Nice. And now allow the elbows to open out to the side. Maybe allow the arms to rest by the sides and just take a moment here. See if you can breathe into the ball underneath your shoulder blades. Can your ribcage expand back into the ball on the inhale? Nice. Then bring your knees over to one side and your body as well. Take the ball out. You can try putting the ball underneath your head like this. This feels really good. And then straighten your legs, and we'll take 2 more minutes here resting. If the ball feels like it's too high for you, you're welcome not to use it. And then rest and notice the radiance of your practice throughout your body. Tapping into the 3-dimensional quality of your breath. Allowing the body to be heavy, receiving the support from the ground. And move your fingertips and your toes. Feel this movement radiate up your arms, into your shoulders, into your neck, from your toes into your ankles, into your knees, into your thighs, into your hips, into your belly. Bend your knees, roll onto one side, and push yourself up into seated. And this will be the end of your practice.